There are many short platforms across the New South Wales intercity network, but only a few of the most short, SP1 and SPM. But the question is, out of all of those SP1 and SPM stations, which one is actually the shortest? You can't find an answer anywhere on the internet, so the only way to find out is to go to these stations. Wondabyne is a heritage-listed railway station and request stop located on the Central Coast Line in New South Wales. It opened on the 1st of May 1889 and is the only station in Australia that does not have road access. The station is mainly used by trailgoers on the Great North Walk and the homeowners who live on the other side of the Mullet Creek, which is a tributary of the Hawkesbury River. It's a favoured spot of train spotters, with a quarry that is used intermittently and several houses which can only be accessed by boat from a jetty next to the station. Hello everyone, welcome to New South Wales Train Vlogs, and today is the first episode of a new series where we are trying to find out what's the smallest and what's the shortest station in all of the intercity network. Beginning here with Wondabyne. This is the closest station to Sydney that is a request stop.
Customers on platform 2. The next train does not stop at this platform. Please stand behind the yellow line. Please stand clear.
And it is short. Though, is it the shortest platform in all of the network? I would imagine not, but I've got the tape measure. First we're going to measure the width. I'm going to start right there, measure over there, and then length there to over there. So let's go. We're at the edge right now. It's at the edge. Right there. Of course there is going to be variables we can't control. Maybe slightly angled. That's the case for everything. But it's the best we can do. Wondabyne station measures 4.2. I would say 4.26. 4.26 meters. Train's coming. Get it back there quick. It's good that there's nowhere on here. I don't know what the next train is. It looks to be coming from that direction. Couple of magpies. Might be from here actually. It is from there. The vandals have done their work, but since the alarm did stop. I thought there was going to be two trains actually. So since Wondabyne has got two platforms, we're going to have to average both of them out to find, the best value that we can. Since most of the request stops in the video, just except for this and Zigzag, they're all going to be one platform. Now for length, Wondabyne station is not that short, even if everyone says it is. So we actually are going to have some issues. This isn't going to be long enough. So the best thing we can do is just max it out at 8 meters and see how much more there is, and keep measuring from the end of where it can measure in a single go. So let's start over here. So the straight line's going to go around over here. That's a bit of an issue. Do we count that? that's not really part of it. Goes down, does it? We're not going to count that. However, it is part of that. So we are going to have to count this, but then again, it's all angled. It's smaller over there and it gets bigger. We'll just add this on to whatever length it is. This is 15 centimeters. That's 15, we're gonna add 15 centimeters onto the final measurement. Keeps on getting, alright, it is firmly on there, already at 3.9. You can't find any measurement of any of these small stations anywhere on the internet. They all just say around 3 meters. This one's definitely not around 3 meters, I'll tell you that. I sure hope that it is not over 8 meters. But we're getting awfully close to 8 meters, and it doesn't appear that the station is 8 meters. It's pretty straight, isn't it? Already 7.5, there's no chance. We're gonna max it out at 7.8 right there. I'm gonna record 7.8 as we're gonna use this rock to measure it. Alright, I'll put the phone down for a second. Alright, so as you can see, 7.8 right there. And we're gonna have to add 15, so it is 7. This would actually be 7.95. 7.95 right there. We're gonna zoom it back up. And yeah, start measuring over there. Right, we're gonna start measuring from the edge of the platform up to the rock that we have placed right there. So the rock marks 7.95 and is right there. So we're measuring from the edge, pretty much the very edge. And this is only the first station. Rocks right there. Press it down. 7.94 would be right there, and this measures 6.8. 6.85. So 6.85 is the measurement from there. This gives us a total length of this number. I don't even remember the first measurement. I don't remember that first measurement. So yeah, that's the total length. This is the total width. This is the area of the first platform. Of course, we do have to measure the other platform and then average it out. So let's move over. I'm going to be calculating all of this after. Can't possibly remember all of it. The view's like very nice. We've got a green light, so I'm going to assume the train's coming soon. I mean, it doesn't really mean that, it just means that it's all clear, I guess. Alright, we'll start with the width. This one's clearly not as wide as that one, which will bring the average of size down. Might be a problem because that's just hanging over Hawkesbury River. I mean Mullet Creek actually, not Hawkesbury River. Two point three two. Yeah, 2.32. So it is not very wide. Much less wide than over there. Hope I don't absolutely destroy this tape measure. We've still got so many more stations, plus this is going to be used outside of that. Alright, time for the length. We'll start from that edge and we'll move ourselves up. That's what's around Wondabyne. Essentially there's nothing except for a hiking trail, which is actually pretty good. Alright, let's start. Once again, there is a step, not part of the platform. Let's go a bit more in, since there could be a train coming very soon. This is the main northern, so it is very much used. Currently at 4.5 meters. Now we are at 5.5. I hope you don't use 6. We're currently at 6.7. Those who know, 7. Alright, we'll stop it right about 7.5. Stopping it at 7.5 meters. I'm going to be measuring 7.5 with a bell. Placing it right at 7.5, right there. Right then, the train's coming, so I'll unravel it. Oh, it's an Explorer. Keep on measuring from there. I hope there was no damage done during the unraveling. Going straight along. Marks the spot at 0.8. I would say 0.8 is the answer. 6.98. Here's the length, here's the width, and here's the area. And when we average both of these things out, here's what we get. Alright, so now we've done all the measuring, all of the maths. Time to film some trains, I guess. And take a look at the views. Some really nice views. Not the best day, but still. So, I guess right now it's time to take a look at what's around Wondabyne. I've been here maybe like 5 times, so not a stranger. The quarry is over there. When there's track work, the sandstone gets loaded over there. And it's only during track work because they can't disrupt the flow of trains. There's no level crossing or anything like that. The house for the quarries, I think, is just here, and it is still occupied. There is another train interrupting all of this, but that's okay because it's probably going to be an XPT. What did I say? It is going to be an XPT. The Brisbane XPT to be exact. Alright, let's take a look around a Wondabyne Wharf. This is probably the second most defining feature about the station, including the station, of course. Sea levels are currently very low down, and if you visit around 6 PM, it's probably going to be all the way up to here. You can take a photo through that hole. Right now, the hole is at least 3 meters up. It's a very, very nice place, and even more so if you visit on a better day. Unfortunately, it's going to be raining today, so not the best time to visit, but oh well. As mentioned before, the house for the quarry is over there, and that's the only house near to the station on this side. The only other ones are on the other side. The zoom is obviously not good. This is not a phone with a telephoto lens. It's just the standard iPhone. But you can still clearly see where they are. These ones are pretty much directly at the wharf. This one's slightly further off, and there doesn't appear to be any more houses at all. Visiting this place around sunset is probably the best time to visit. And as you just saw, there is a lot of fish, and they always jump. Though I've never seen anyone fishing here. I'm not sure if there's some reason against that, but I assume that you just can't fish at wharves, I guess. Even though I've seen so many people fishing at them. Let's read this. Right, that makes sense. Any other use include fishing from this pontoon is prohibited. What a shame, because there's so much fish, but you can't eat all the fish. Alright, so let's just wait out the 40 minutes until the next train comes, I guess. Probably going to be quite a lot of trains that do not stop here. Which likely includes this one. This sounds just like some freight. Except it's not. To be honest, I do miss the days when you could see Oscars and V-sets regularly on this line, but the D-sets are definitely the most comfortable train to ride in, other than the V-sets. For one thing, the charging ports are just top level. Of course, they're not Australian made, but in this time, nothing is Australian made anymore. Anyway guys, that was the end of the first episode of Short Platforms. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel so you get notified when the next episode comes out. And see if Wondabyne Station gets dethroned as the shortest platform. Anyway guys, get us to 800 subscribers so that you can finally see an Abandoned Railways episode on the Fast Fern to Toronto Railroad. By the way, the request stop, the driver he'll, I guess, acknowledge that you've signaled to stop with some honks. Anyway guys, bye.